Hi ladies and gents, Pond here with another video for Rise of Empires, Ice and Fire. Thank you so much for your previous likes, comments and subscriptions to the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, why not click on that button and ring the bell so you can get notifications of whenever I'm dropping content on the channel. And now onto the topic of this video, and with us starting SX13 tomorrow, it's my first look at the two new SX13 heroes. We've got John I and Darius I. So let's first off look at John. So John is a ranged cavalry hero, founder of a dynasty. Let's get straight into, well, first off, he's on a horse, so that's always a good start with a cavalry hero. Historic looking figure, Portuguese according to his story. So let's get into the skills. Of course, skill 1 is the usual. Dictator skill, 23,100 extra bonus marching capacity. Skill 2, Great Voyage. It's a combat skill. Effective range of 5. Of course, you're always going to expect effective range of 5 for a ranged hero back row, so that the skill can target over the first 2 rows of your squads, and then be able to reach all 3 rows of your opponent's squads. So the description states that John I blazes a new trail. 2 of the effects below will be triggered each round. And there are 3 options that can be triggered. 2 of them will be triggered. So A, the hero squad and 1 random squad of yours gain 25% skill damage for 1 round. So that's a total of 50% extra skill damage, 2 times 25%. The fact that his definitely gets the extra 25% is good, because he is your main killer hero. So the fact that then either your front row or your middle row is picking up extra damage, it's not such a key impact on the ability. B, deals 343 damage to all enemy squads. That is significant. 1,029 total damage. That's going to be one of the better effects in the game, quite frankly, to target all 3 squads with quite a high level of damage. And then C, deals 95% damage to 2 to 3 of your squads randomly, which is another one of these kind of self-attack skills that we've already seen in Alfred very recently. We've seen it in Windwalker, we see it in Warhammer. So he would definitely work again, potentially he's going to work in a Warhammer combo for sure, if he's also hitting his own squads, because that's going to build up the charges and the reflection of Warhammer. So quite good skills here. Like the section A, a total of 50% buff overall is not that OP. We've seen skills which have higher skill damages, but this is guaranteed. Well, it's a combat skill, but it doesn't have any percentage linked to it. So as long as this skill is not suppressed or silenced, then this is guaranteed to activate, and 2 effects happen each round, which is pretty good consistency. You just don't want to be up against, your heavy kind of suppressor or silencing squads. Something with like Brave or Army Breaker in is going to cause you problems, perhaps, if you're with John. Let's go on to the next skill. So 3 and 4 are the usual extra 50% resistance and extra 50% might for the troops in your squad. And then on to his 5th skill, Lord of the Sea. Again, it's a combat skill, effective range of 5. 40% chance to deal 371% damage to 2 random enemy squads. So that is 742% damage. It's okay, within the valid range, fine. But then if one of them are already subject to a status that curbs the troop power restoration, the skill will hit 3 enemy squads the subsequent time. Now, a couple of things to unwrap on all of this. Now, this is evident that John is going to link in with Alfred, because Alfred does have, well, troop power restoration is a troop recovery block skill, basically. So Alfred has it, Warhammer has it throughout the battle, so you're going to have to pair John with Warhammer basically for him to work. And what we've already said about his 2nd skill links perfectly, synergizes perfectly with Warhammer. And then it's this kind of second element of the skill. The skill will hit 3 enemy squads the subsequent time. Now I presume that means the subsequent time that this skill activates. Now 40% chance, you're looking at, you know, on average between 3 and 5 times in a battle. Could, you know, how effective is that going to be? You're basically giving yourself an extra 370 if it is paired with Warhammer. It's 371% extra 3 to 5 times. Well, the first time it won't, so you're talking about 2 to 4 times you get the extra damage. So that's only around, what, a maximum of about 1480 damage from this ability on top of what it's already doing. And it's also a combat skill, so it can be silenced and suppressed. So I'm not 100% convinced on this about how effective it's going to be. We'll have to wait and see. But let's go on to the 6th and 7th skills. So ranged hero, he does give increased cavalry damage, as you'd expect, and he gives extra might, again, as you would expect, loading up on that damage dealing. And then his 8th skill, Heartening Light, is a prep skill, so activates in round 0 before the start of the battle. And John I prays for the light of the sea god. When all your squad's troop power drops below 80% for the first time, John's squad will gain minus 20% damage mitigation. So whatever the opponent does to him, it will do 20% less damage. And then when their troop power drops below 50% for the first time, now this is all your squads have to do this for this to activate, don't forget. Then John I squad will gain minus 30% more damage mitigation. So that's minus 50% damage mitigation. That is one of the better damage mitigation skills in the game. Is it absolute top tier, you know, making him absolutely OP, like 5-star hero? No, like if it's based on the kind of way that the devs show damage, then he's not going to. If it's like how they've done it, for instance, you know, the damage mitigation you see on like Sakura's skills and things like that, then it's not going to be massively OP. But if it is actually 50% of all the damage, then that could be very good. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out, because all of this percentages, it's, you know, it always has a double meaning in the game. And then make all enemy and your squads have minus 10% troop power restoration effect, lasting till the round ends. And it's stackable, but I presume this means it's stackable with, for instance, Warhammer's damage mitigation, because this is not activating multiple times in a battle, I don't think. So for me, yeah, John is like a hero that's been rolled out that completely synergizes with Warhammer. You're going to have to put him in combos with Warhammer. The devs have already said, you know, Warhammer Alfred John, Lawman Warhammer John for, you know, obviously the Lawman Warhammer John combo is going to be what people go for if you know, they're not spenders and they haven't been able to get Alfred maxed. You need a troop recovery block hero for him to be at his most effective. So if you don't have a maxed Warhammer, for instance, or you don't have Warhammer with his 8th skill unlocked, then really Living Saint is probably the only other option for you with her 5th skill, similar to like what I said in my video about Alfred and his damage mitigation. So John is, it's tough to know right now. He is vulnerable to being, you know, crowd controlled, similar to like Alfred is. He is very linear in terms of who he's going to work with, again, similar to Alfred. So, and he doesn't follow the course of the heroes that we saw in LSS. In LSS, they have a hero that's designed to work with serial attack heroes. And then this, for us here in Row, we've got a hero that is 100% just designed to work with Alfred, basically. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. My instinct is that he's not going to be anything more than a 3-star hero. Like, he's going to be pretty effective, but is he going to be better than like an Avalanche? I'm not, you know, bearing in mind he's a skilled hero, I'm not sure. So, on to the next hero. And our next hero is Darius I. So, Darius I, just given the title Great King, he's a melee hero, so front row archer as well. And let's have a look at what he's got under his belt. Also, bearing in mind he's an archer, he's just got this kind of a lot of gold, like Middle Eastern look, and a huge shining staff there, I suppose. So dictator skills usual, extra troops. Skill 2, disdain, combat skill, effective range of 3, not surprising as he's a melee hero. Darius I keeps releasing its power, so 40% chance to deal 180%, 89% damage to 2 random enemy squads within the valid range, and apply the status panicked to the target for 1 round, making the target take 151% damage before taking actions each round. Okay, let's break that down. So 40% chance, again, not huge. You're talking about 3 to 5 times battle. The initial damage is 378%, and if and then it's going to apply this panic status. So it's, you know, another one that we've seen so many times. It's just another word for fire, poison, bleeding, all of these kind of other ones. It's just like, it's basically 2 lots of damage from the same skill. You could actually just put it all together, but 2 times, making the targets take 151% damage before taking actions each round. That's quite good, because obviously potentially this second element could actually kill the opponent before they take any action, so that would, you know, could be good. But the total damage from this is 2 times 189 plus 2 times 151, so the total damage is 680%. It's okay for a skill 2. Again, it's not amazing. Skills 3 and 4, of course, extra 50% resistance, extra 50% might. Skill 5, King of all kings, prep skill. So again, it's going to activate in the round prior to battle, and when an enemy squad is at poisoned, bleeding, or panicked status, Darius I and your squads will gain a 50% lifesteal effect based on the skill damage dealt to it. So lifesteal, as this description shows, is converting the skill damage dealt to the enemy into the troop power of yours. So it's a healing skill, and usually when it says 50%, it means like of the total. So say if you do 20,000 damage to an opponent's squad, you'll heal 10,000 if the rate is 50%. If it was 100% lifesteal, you would heal 20,000, just as an example. Now this is linked to poison, bleeding, and panic. So of course, what heroes are kind of, and bearing in mind he's going to be a front row hero, what heroes are popping into your mind right now? I'm sure most of you are going to be thinking, right, Poison Master for poison, Belisarius for bleeding, and then obviously he himself is doing the panic status. If you don't have Belisarius maxed, you could use Lost Angel on the back row. So my expectations are that this will be it will be Darius, Poison Master, and then either Belisarius if you've got them, or Lost Angel, because Lust does have elements of poison as well. 50%, and all of your squads will gain a 50% lifesteal effect based on the skill damage dealt to it. Skill damage though. So these are the, so first things first is that this will be good countering like skilled cav combos, but potentially not serial attack basic combos, and wouldn't be good, you know, against archers who are doing a lot of basic attack damage, for instance, rather than skill damage, I would say. Effect based on the skill damage dealt to it. Yeah, it's, I mean, effectively you're healing 50% of your troops you're losing. So it is potentially a very good skill depending on who you're up against, the type of combo you're up against. Skill 6 is extra HP, Archer Awaken. You would expect extra HP on a melee hero always, because you want them to be tanky and last as long into the battle as possible with being a front row hero. 7th skill is Might, which does surprise me a little bit. Again, you would think for a front row hero you would want extra resistance to, again, just increase that defensive capabilities. And then his 8th skill, Great King. It's a combat skill again, effective range of 3. 45% chance to deal 255% damage to 2 random enemy squads within the valid range. So it's only 510% damage. Not huge, but it's okay for a melee hero. Now, this is the really interesting part about this whole hero, in my opinion. Meanwhile, Darius I gains 2 times lifesteal skill effects against the enemy squad subjected to poisoned, bleeding, panic statuses lasting 2 rounds. So, is this effectively multiplying what is happening in skill 5? This is what I want to know. And there's no percentage linked to, unlike in skill 5 where you can clearly see it's a 50% lifesteal. Because there's no percentage, does this mean that it's 100%? And when this says lasting 2 rounds, does that mean that it's 2 times the effect? So it happens once in the first round and then once in the second round. So is this giving you 100% troop recovery of the damage being dealt? Because again, it doesn't say anything relating to the type of skills against it, unlike that skill 5. So is this saying effectively that for his squad, he's going to actually heal every damage for two rounds, and this is 45% chance, so close to activating, 2 or 3, 4 times in a battle, close to 4 times. If it activates 4 times, you're actually going to be getting a load of healing for the rest of the battle if the opponent's squads are in poison, bleeding or panic status. And what you've got to remember is obviously this is a combat skill, so it can be shut down by certain combos. So it's really about, for him, how this lifesteal skill is going to work in practice. And I'm going to be very interested to see, because potentially this could be the most OP healing ability in the game for a single squad, that this is going to heal nearly everything, nearly the whole time. But there's just so many unknown certainties, and how the devs write these skills. It's quite ambiguous linguistically, and you're having to almost, those first few days, you have to really focus on the battle reports and the videos to understand how these skills are actually working in practice. So Darius could be a real game changer, and when you pair him with someone like Poison Master, who's almost constantly doing poison, and with Ballisterus as well, who's got this ability to speed up your combat speed, which would tie in with this damage taken before each round, then you could have a really OP archers combo. If you look at how we've had OP cavalry combos for such a long time, and then right now, this Arslan healer Reaver combo is really OP. Is this the devs kind of rolling the dice and finally giving us a really, really strong archers combo with this hero? We'll have to wait and see, because I don't have him, obviously, like everyone else, not yet anyway. So it's going to be, I'm more excited about Darius than John. And again, the only downside with Darius is this uncertainty about him, and also, of course, he's going to be linear. You have to put him with these heroes that are doing these other abilities with the poison and the bleeding. So that is again limiting options for him. But it's quite a clear line of where they're going with this type of squad, archer squad. And as I say, right now, it's really tough to tell. He could be a 5 out of 5 hero with that 8th ability, but if it's not working how I think it's going to work, then he could be a 3 out of 5 again. So just going to have to wait and see, folks. There we go. That is everything on these my first look of the new SX13 heroes. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please do click on that like button. And if you can please share this video and my channel in your Alliance chat, Province chat, and of course from tomorrow, those guild chats and map chats. that would be great. And if you could please also share it through Line, WhatsApp, Viber, Discord, whatever you use to communicate with your fellow players in the game, that would be very much appreciated too. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.